The film begins with Flare. A group of men lounge at the center of a field by a campfire. They hear rustling in the tall grass. They see a flock of birds fly away on a breeze. Suddenly, a menacing Viola Davis playing Naniska, the world-weary Agoje general, emerges from the grass armed with a machete. An entire platoon then appears behind her. The ensuing slaughter of the men, the women in villages left unarmed, is soaked in delirious gore and is part of this warrior ensemble mission to free their imprisoned kin.
Where are the prisoners?
Naniska, however, loses so many comrades in the process that she decides to train a new batch of recruits. Oyo soldiers, led by General Obade, played by Jimmy Odukoya, come across the corpses of their comrades. Obade insults them for letting their fellow soldiers get murdered by women, and they plan their next move against Dahomey. A young woman, Nawi, played by Tusho Mbedo, is brought to a man who would marry her, even though he is older and brutish. When Nawi doesn't respond to the man, he slaps her, and she responds by pushing him hard enough for him to fall over. He is angered and refuses to marry her. Nawi's father, who is frustrated with his obstinate daughter's refusal to marry her many suitors, brings her to the Agoje and offers her to the king.
I wish to give my daughter to the king.
Gezo addresses his council to discuss the Oyo threat. Naniska also brings up the slave trade and says it casts a dark shadow on their kingdom to be selling off their own people. She proposes that they deal in gold or palm oil for trading. Gezo tells Naniska to show him how much palm oil they can produce before he makes his decision. Naniska's right-hand woman, Amenza, played by Sheila Atim, addresses the new Agoje recruits, telling them that they will fight and potentially die for their kingdom. Several women leave, but a large group, including Nawi, chose to stay. Izoje then tells Nawi to go bath, so she does and speak personally to Naniska. The women begin their training. Nawi does not understand why they begin with ropes, feeling she should start with a bladed weapon until Naniska allows her to try on a wood statue to decapitate it. The sword is too heavy for Nawi, and Naniska chops the head off with one swing. At night, Izoje speaks to Nawi and talks about how her mother allowed men to abuse her until she fought back. The women continue training later on by running, firing rifles, and learning combat skills. Nawi plays a prank where she sets off a small explosive on one of the statues. She takes the blame for it as Naniska chastises her for it. Later, Izoje tells Nawi about how Naniska's deeds are considered legendary since they rose up to her ranks after being a captive left for dead. Amenza visits Naniska in her hut, then tells her, using special knots, that she sees somebody from Naniska's past coming back for her. Outside, Naniska watches as Nawi practices her sword-wielding skill on one of the statues. The Oyo arrive at the kingdom's gate for a confrontation with Gezo when Obade steps forward. Naniska becomes horrified as Obade raped her repeatedly when she was a captive. They order tributes and demand 40 Agoje warriors, but Gezo only allowed 20. Naniska tells Amenza that her vision was true. Portuguese settlers arrive in Africa, led by Captain Santo Ferreira, played by Herofienes Stephen, and his friend Malik, played by Jordan Bolger. The latter, whose mother was Dahomey. When Malik sees the captured natives, he feels horrified. The men join the scene as the Agoje confront the Oyo. Naniska says they will not give them tribute and instead delivers Oba Ade, the saved head of his men. A fight breaks out between the two tribes, wherein Nawi sees an opportunity to free the captives, which Naniska says deviates from their plan. After the escape, Naniska churns Nawi out of it, but Amenza privately tells Naniska that it was she who deviated from the plan, as she was more concerned with killing Obade. Ferreira and Malik meet with Obade and his soldiers as they are discussing plans for the Oyo to team up with other tribes to invade Dahomey and capture more villagers to sell off. Malik appears uncomfortable with the news. He later goes by the water to bath, where he is found in the nude by Nawi. She accuses him of being a slaver, but he denies it and tells her about his Dahomey heritage. He gives her a piece of jewelry before she retreats back to the others. The kingdom holds a small tournament where the Agoje trainees go through an obstacle course involving thorn bushes, climbing a wall, fighting enemies, and finally decapitating one of the statues. Nawi comes out as the victor, and Gezo acknowledges her skill and talent.
To the victor!
Later, while tending to Nawi's wounds, Naniska feels something on the girl's arm. She goes back to her room and is followed by Amenza as Naniska asks her about a child that she had given up long ago because she is beginning to suspect that Nawi might be that child. Ferreira speaks to Gazo about his plan to potentially seize Dahomey's part in the slave trade, telling him that his riches come from the slaves, and without them, his kingdom will be nothing and unprotected. Gazo retorts that if the Europeans are no longer of use to him, then they are also unprotected. Izoje senses that Nawi might like Malik after watching them speak discreetly while Ferreira was talking to Gezo. They later meet in secret when Nawi gives Malik a totem to keep him safe. When he says that he has nothing to give her, she simply takes one of his knives. Nawi goes to bat and encounters Naniska, who chastises her for sneaking off for Malik. After arguing, Naniska approaches Nawi and tells her about the baby she gave up. She was a product of rape, and Amenza helped Naniska hide her and give her away. Naniska remembers cutting the child's left arm and sticking a shark tooth in it. Naniska cuts into Nawi's arm and pulls out the tooth, confirming that Nawi is indeed her daughter and therefore the daughter of Obade as well. Nawi lives in disbelief. The following morning, Naniska and some of her soldiers keep an eye out on the Oyo camp. They set fire to their gunpowder and cause multiple explosions, scaring their horses away and leaving them vulnerable. The Agoje launch an attack, leading to a fierce and bloody battle that leaves many Oyo and Agoje dead and leads to some of the women, including Izoje and Nawi, to get captured. On a wagon heading away, Nawi finds out women's bind have come loose, and she encourages her to roll off the cart and run back to Dahomey, while captives Nawi helps Izoje try to fix her broken arm. The young woman returns to Dahomey and informs Naniska about the Oyo's plan to retaliate against the Agoje. Gezo promotes Naniska but forbids her from acting any further. But she and Amenza go behind his back to rescue the others. When the European slavers come for the captives, Izoje and Nawi initiate a fight against them, but Izoje is fatally shot and dies in Nawi's arm as she wails for her sister. Nawi is in prison, But Malik goes to visit her and tells her how the captives are bound for England and he wishes to protect her. They all implied to make love after. Naniska leads the warrior into the European camp for an attack. They set fire to their camp and attack the men before freeing their captives. Malik turns on Ferreira and frees the captives, causing them to drag him into the water, where they beat him and hold his head underwater until he drowns. Now he helps Naniska engage in battle as she finally goes to face off against Obade. The man attempts to beat Naniska, but she overpowers him and impales him, finally killing him. Everyone returns home, and now he parts ways with Malik. The Agoje return home with their captives, and Naniska is confronted by Gezo. While he acknowledges that she disobeyed his orders, he is thankful to her for ending the Oyo Empire and officially promotes her to the title of Woman King. Everyone cheers for her. Now he goes to pay tribute to Izoje, and she is joined by Naniska. She then addresses Nawi as her daughter. The two then go join the others to dance in celebration. You have made it this far. In appreciation, please like, subscribe, watch other recaps, and share with your loved ones.